Today, I want to share my personal story, a little journey on how real estate started and what happened and where we are today. So, I always say God sows the seeds in our mind, and that mind is so powerful it makes us do things. Our ego says we are doing it, but imagine the seeds sown in us by God because thoughts are seeds. And when those thoughts change, our results change, our direction changes, our life changes. So be thankful for those thoughts because without thoughts, we cannot achieve what we are achieving. Ego says, "Oh, I'm so successful because," and the answer is bull. You are not succeeding because of you, you are succeeding because of your thoughts and your actions. And the thoughts were instilled by God in us. Those are the seeds, and then they are nourished, and then they become the results. And we must be thankful to God for all of it. So, my story about 30 years ago in 1994, we started on Track Realty. Success was pretty instant, and maybe my ego was slightly too. Maybe I didn't realize that thoughts and were put in my mind. Although I didn't have a lot of ego, but when I think back, I think I probably did compared to today. So did a lot of things. Became the board president. Became director of places. Chaired many committees. Taught GRI. Taught at home with diversity. Um, Became Realtor of the Year for our Middlesex County and for the state, chaired risk management committee and forum at the at National Association of Realtors, which is a pretty prestigious position. People aim for it, and we I was lucky to be brought in to speak at the foundation seminar, and then before you know, I was uh, made chair and made chair of the risk management committee also. Again, very prestigious. I was honored to do that. But while I was doing all that, some other seed was being sown in the mind. The goal, just to back up a little, I was planning a whole circle of goals, how many multiple offices we'll have in New Jersey, how we will expand, how we will franchise, what other ancillary services we will offer. So much was going on. But in 2004, when I was the president, slowly in 2003, 4, 5, also I was, and especially in 2004, I was going, why am I doing all this? And why am I not in more spiritual direction? And life was changing slowly. So in 2004, I resigned from my MLS directorship. I resigned. I did not want to take my second year as the president of the association. I simply quit everything. I said, I'm done. And the goal was to go to India and enjoy the spirituality and whatnot. And I did, had many trips to India. Now, what I started seeing when I went back there was this was all business, sadly. The saintly men who said they didn't care for money were counting the money. The saintly men were so egoistic. They were having the people touch their feet but and calling them God, and they were happily having themselves called God, which was sad. So the purpose was to go and find God or disconnect from the world, but these people were calling their own family. They said, "Oh, we have to do this so that our family can grow." And in everything they gave, there was a picture of them instead of God. So it was a sad scenario. And more I went, more I realized that this was becoming business. It was becoming more friendships. What you wanted to lose was actually you were gaining. People were coming to you all the time, talking, and it was becoming nonsense, but it was happening at the highest level. These saintly men had people visiting them, touching their feet, kissing their feet, and they were so happy to see, look at how many followers I have. They would not even go on the stage to speak till somebody give them a clue that there are enough people outside to listen to them. So, but when you start competing with God, when you start saying, I am God, that's when it becomes a real problem. It was a sad problem. And slowly, again, God was sowing the seeds and saying, I showed you this world also. Go back to your own world. And slowly, I was starting getting pulled back. And short story now is that I am back. Ego is probably way less, probably. I think ego doesn't go away completely. So sad part is still there. But I also know that there's nothing I can do till it was God's will to get it done. And that's the only truth, whether we accept it or not accept it. We could be very successful, and all of a sudden something goes wrong and everything goes wrong with it. Same successful people end up in rotten places at times. We all know that how many people have killed themselves. We all know how things change in a heartbeat, where somebody says nobody can touch me, they're touched instantly. Wrong reasons, right reasons, political reasons, whatever that reason be. But when the time goes bad, when times become bad, things change, and they happen to all of us. So what is this ego for anyhow? So now, fast forward to 2004, 1994 started it. 2004 almost gave up. And now in last few years, I'm saying, you know what? It's okay. You can do God's work when you are successful. You don't have to be at certain place to be part of God or with God. You can be with God anytime, any place. So again, those are the thoughts from him, not my thoughts. And we are back now expanding on Trek Realty. As you probably know, second branch, the branch office is being opened soon. The location is already there. The property is already there. We are going to open before we know it. And it's going to be a good place, but we're not going to stop here. So now there are other things that are happening, and you will have the announcements as we go on. We'll probably involve a lot of people. My first commitment is to my team at On Track Realty. I will give all the opportunity to the people who have been so loyal to us, who have been so good to us. Uh, if they want to grow with us more, we will open all the doors we can. I should not say we. I would say God will together open all the doors for all of us. So that's what will happen. And also for other people out there, I will be reaching out to see who wants to be part of that growth. First will be your clients group, because first people we want to thank are after God, our clients. They are the ones who should be given that opportunity to be part of our growth, and then we will see who else at that point. So let's see what happens, and that will keep you all posted. But going back to the whole thing, ego is useless. God is sowing the seeds of thoughts. Thoughts is mind is so powerful. Without the mind, everything fails. And that mind is given by God. This healthy body is given by God. The mind may say, I want to do X, Y, Z completely, but the body says, I cannot do it. So all of it is a gift from God. We should never forget it. I feel bad sometimes for people who think there is no God, who believe or say there is no God. And you know what? That is thought from God in them too, for whatever reason. God has white cells in our body and red cells in our body, and there is a fight going on. God has good bacteria and bad bacteria in there. Right, wrong, and different. That balance is critical by the grace of God, without which things may not work. So that's it, my friends. Ego out, God in. Edging God out. Ego is edging God out. So let's keep that edging God. Let's keep God in, ego out. Let's make sure. Let's know, and at least you know what. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell anybody that. But God is available to us all the time at all the places. We don't have to run to the mountains. We don't have to run to different places to get God. Now, I can say that because I know I tried it. I went to those places and found out this wasn't an easy path. This wasn't a true path. In many cases, people were really trying to exploit. I would also call that exploit. I mean, there's so much money there. It's unbelievable. And but the ego of these people is so big too. And but my problem is not even ego. My problem is when you say I'm bigger than God. And I remember one of the saintly men, and a woman was there, and she was her back was towards God and she was facing this guy, and I don't know what happened, or whatever happened doesn't matter. So her statement was, "Oh, that's okay. My God is in front of me." And she was looking at this saintly man who pretended to be very less, totally okay, and it was all about God. But he smiled, and he was so happy, and he looked at me and saying, "See, I'm being called God." And I was like, "What a shame!" At that point, I lost all respect. I said, "How can you compete with God? Because of God, you are where you are. How do you compete with God and become God?" And this happens in so many saintly men. They start calling themselves God. They say without them, you cannot achieve God. Without Guru, you cannot achieve God. However, their own Guru is alive, and they are becoming much bigger than their own Guru. Why? If Guru is everything, then why are you going where you're going? So, in any case, the bottom line is the good things are coming. We will be there. We'll be inviting our team to be a part of the growth. We will be inviting our clients to be a part of the growth too. Thank you for tuning in, and God bless you. Bye. This is Sanjeev from OnTrack Realty. Bye.